You can't not be inspired by Dave the moment you meet him. I think the ROTC program is his gold star for Owen County and Spencer. His legacy will influence his community forever because the ROTC program is so strong. It's got his name attached to it. It will always have his name attached to it. What he has done for the kids that are involved in that program is immeasurable.
He was an excellent listener. I mean, any time that we would have a conversation, he'd always ask, "How are you? What's going on? Is there anything I can help with? Is there anybody out there that needs help?" Those were things that I remember him saying to me repeatedly. And he was always looking for that way to serve, help others, and just be there for people. He always was very organized and had it together. I mean, when we had Veterans Day programs, I always knew there was not going to be a hitch. And he would always silence the student body and let them know that this is a moment of respect. And the respect that he had among the staff, the students, the community, and how many veterans would show up for those is powerful. And it was due to his connections that he had and the type of person that he was that people liked to be around.
He became somebody that it was obvious to me and everybody else that the kids really looked up to. At the age of 62, he accomplished so much for our country, for our community, and for his family. Just a super, super individual, honest, caring, loving, and above all, integrity. Just a great man. I miss him dearly.
You know, his big passion the last year or so he was alive was pickleball. I mean, it's exploded. I don't understand it. We'd argue about it. I'd tell him it was silly, and he would tell me why it wasn't. And for the last year before he passed, we were actually neighbors. We moved out into their subdivision where they live, and you know, he'd come walking Sophie the dog by, and we'd talk for sometimes an hour, just about anything and nothing.
My dad was a hoot. He was a hoot, that's for sure. Sometimes he would say things with, I don't know where he came up with them, but he was a hoot. But he was also very confident, and he cared about people. He also, overall, he was just like the best guy that I know. My dad was an amazing dad. It was, I think, his favorite thing in the world was to be a dad. He always put his family first, and I think if you asked him, his biggest accomplishment would be being a husband and a grandfather and a father. I think that's probably his number one accomplishment if you were to ask him. Some of the things that people would often think about is just his community involvement. He's gotten awards, different things like Sagamore of the Wabash, different things like that you definitely would be proud of. But I think overall, if you asked him what his biggest accomplishment, it would be being a good husband, a good father, a good grandfather, and then making a positive impact on people. He tried to live by the quote of, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that's why he had such a connection with his students, is because he genuinely cared. I think that was one of his core values, and I think that's why he was so impactful on people.
We're just going to miss him. We're going to miss him like crazy. Already do.